Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Those of you that are existing viewers, most welcome. Those of you that are new, you are also most welcome. If you are new, then please do hit that bell icon once you've viewed so that you are notified of new videos that I produce. Today's PowerPoint is all about multiplying decimals. Okay, and as always, before we do that, we make a plea to please share and subscribe my videos, particularly the subscribing. Please tell all your friends at school, please tell all your family, your neighbors, and anyone that you think can benefit from my presentations. I need the subscribers quite desperately. All right. That was the plea, as always. Start. Okay, so we're going to learn about multiplying numbers with decimal places. So what that means is that some numbers have numbers after the whole number. Those are known as decimal places, and we need to be careful when multiplying those. So you may already have a method for multiplying whole numbers. That's excellent, and you can carry on using that, and you are almost there, and you will get the answers correct if you can multiply correctly. But in this session we're going to recap the multiplying methods using a grid, which is the way that children are taught nowadays. I will put up one answer using the traditional column method, but I think that's a topic for another presentation really. As far as this presentation is concerned, I am using the grid method, as you will see. Okay, so we have this question or this situation. A holiday firm books 48 coaches which can carry 52 people. How many people could they accept bookings for in total? So quite clearly it is 52 times 48. So we need to put that in a grid. So you notice we have two-digit numbers. So within the 48 we have tens and we have units. And similarly in 52. So we need to show that on a grid. First of all, there's the 40, and then the 8, 50, and the 2. And using this method, what we do is multiply each of them. 50 by 4 multiplied by 40 is 2000. 50 multiplied by 8 is 400. Excuse me. 40 times 2 is 80, and 8 times 2, of course, is 16. Okay, so we need to add the rows where we've done the calculation. So 2000 plus 400 is 2400. Then 80 and 16 is 96. So here we've had a nice easy example where we have a whole number and the answer excuse me, 2496. Okay, so I've shown it here using the traditional column method. 8 times 2 of course is 16, 1 to carry. 4 times 2 is 8, 1 more makes 9. So 48 times 2 is 96. Then we must multiply 48 by 50. We write a 0 to show that it's the tens column. 5 times 8 is 40. 4 to carry. 5 times 4 is 20. Add 4 is 24, and the 2 added together 2496. So we get exactly the same answer whichever method you use. So in the exam situation it is your choice, but as I say, in the classroom situations children are encouraged to use the grid method. Okay, now what we're going to do, or what this presentation is all about, is working with decimal places. So here we have the example of the same figures, but there is a decimal place. 48 multiplied by 5.2. So to start with, we ignore the decimal place and we have exactly the same calculations. So 48 goes there, and we imagine, or for a while we think there is no decimal place, so we write 50 there and 2 there, and exactly the same figures are written. So we have 2496, and then we look at the decimal places. There is one decimal place in one of the figures, so all we do is from the right hand side we move in one decimal place. So at the present moment 2496 does have a decimal place. It's after the 6. It's an imaginary one if you like, so we could write that as 2496.0, or however many zeros we want to write. So we have to rewrite it as 249.6, because that is one decimal place, which in effect is a tenth. 249.6. Okay, so we've got another sum now, 12.3 multiplied by 2.7. So again, as far as the grid is concerned, we're going to ignore the decimal place, so the first number becomes 123. So we have 100, two lots of 10s, 20 and 3, and the 27 of course is 20 and 7. So we must multiply the 100 with the 20 to give us 2000, 20 with 20 giving us 400, and 20 times 3 is 60. Then multiplying by 7, 7 times 100, 700, 7 times 20, 140, and 7 times 3, 21. And totaling up the rows, the first one is 2460, second one 861, and the total comes to 3321. Okay, that's if they had been whole numbers, but they're not, of course. They are both decimal places with a decimal place in each of them, so all we do is simply counting from the right hand side. So the imaginary decimal place at the moment is after the 1, therefore counting in 2 places makes it 33.21. that is the answer. Okay, another example. Sorry, this is the way that questions are given in SATs and 11 plus. So you are given this sum 8.8 multiplied by 2.6, and then you are given different situations and asked to work those out. So without using the grid method, can you try to work those answers out? So I should have paused with the grid method. Hopefully you've understood that, but just looking at the information, I'm going to pause for 5 seconds, then I will explain. I think it's quite obvious, but how would you work out the answer without doing the full working? Okay, so I'm going to go through the question. So what we see here is 8.8 times 2.6. Then if we look again, what has happened to the 8.8? The decimal place has moved to the right, which means it has been divided by 10. The 2.6 has remained the same. Therefore, to get the answer, all we do is divide the 22.88 by 10, which of course is 2.288. Okay, looking at another example, 8.8 multiplied by 1.3. What would be the answer? Again, you don't have to use the whole grid to work out the answer. So I'm going to pause for 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to go through the answer. The the 8.8 has remained the same, but the 1.3 was divided by 2. Therefore, we must divide the answer that we had originally, 22.88, by 2 to give us 11.44. Okay, and a slightly trickier one. So again, I'm going to pause for 5 seconds, see if you can work this one out. Okay, so we've got two operations here. First of all, we need to divide by 2, and secondly by 10. So that has been done for us in the question before, but let's start with the figures. 22.88 divided by 2 is 11.44, of course. Then we must divide that by 10 so that the answer would be 1.144. Okay, so these are real exam questions, and I hope that you've understood there. Alright, so I've got some more examples for you. This one's for the observant ones, not that difficult. So I'm going to put each of these. So I've got 11 plus questions and then 5 for you to do. So just going to pause for 5 seconds so that you've got a chance to stop the video. It's quite an easy question. Okay, so all that's happened is that instead of 54 it's 53, so we just reduce one lot of 4.2 and we would get the answer. Okay, so the original answer was 246.68, take away 6.42 is 340.26. Okay, so another 11 plus question. Pausing for 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going to go through the answer. So if we look at 8.6, that became 4.3 divided by 2, so we must divide it by 2 first, and then the other one is times 2, and if we do that, of course, the answer is 241.8. Okay, because in effect what we've done is divided and then times it again. So rather a tricky question. Okay, that is the end of this presentation. So there are 5 questions for you to further try. I do hope that you've understood the topic and benefited from the explanation. So I'll leave this up for 5 seconds. Okay, so obviously don't want to make the video too long. We're already up to 15 minutes, I think. So here are the answers. I'll just pause for a short while and then obviously bid you farewell. Okay people, so just to summarize, we've learned how to multiply decimals, looked at patterns of multiplications when we change numbers, whether they are 10 or halved or whatever we do, and we've looked at some typical 11 plus and SATs questions on this topic. To me, then kids always say you would find it easy, quite an easy topic, but of course it's challenging for some people, but I hope I've explained and you will have no problem situation. Okay, so just remains for me to say once again, thank you very, very much for watching, and please like, share and subscribe to my channel and help as much as you can. Okay, so look after each other, look after others, अपना ख्याल रखना, दूसरों का भी ख्याल रखना, हमें दुआओं में याद रखना. Allah Hafiz. Until the next time, goodbye.